This one's going to be a simple one. Purpose for Holiness. I'm going to read for you as an introduction Leviticus chapter 22, verses 5 through 17. I'm just going to read it to you, and then we'll see where the Lord takes me from there. Very good, simple, practical family perspective of how to look at well, put these back on. How to look at our responsibility when it comes to holiness. Yeah, really, in a beautiful depiction. Well, depiction is the wrong word. A beautiful it's beautiful. It's nice. Anyway, Leviticus chapter 22, verse 5. It says, or whosoever touch any creeping thing whereby he may be made clean, or a man of whom he may take uncleanness, whatsoever uncleanness he hath. The soul which hath, verse 6, the soul which hath touched any such shall be unclean until eve or even, and shall not eat of the holy things unless he wash his flesh with water, and when the sun is down he shall be clean, and shall afterwards eat of the holy things, because it is food. That which dies of itself or is torn he shall not eat, to defile himself therewith. I, the Lord. Verse 9. They shall therefore keep my ordinances, lest they bear sin for it and die. Therefore, if they profane it, the Lord do sanctify them. There shall no stranger eat the holy things, a sojourner of the priest or a hired servant shall not eat the holy things. But if the priest buy soul with his money, he shall eat of it. And he that is born in his house, they shall eat of his meat. If the priest's daughter also unto a stranger, she may not eat of the offering of the holy things. But if the priest's daughter be a widow or divorced, and have no child, and is returned unto her father's house, as in her youth, she shall eat of her father's meat. But there shall no stranger eat thereof. And if a man eat the holy thing unwittingly, then he shall put the fifth thereof unto it, and shall give unto the priest with the holy thing. And they shall not profane the holy things of the children of Israel, which they offer unto the Lord, or suffer them to bear the iniquity of trespass, when they eat their holy things, for I, the Lord, do sanctify them. The Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto Aaron and to his sons and unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, and I'm not going to go into that, that's verse 18, which is moves from just speaking directly to Aaron and his sons and their process in dealing with the holy things. I don't know if you caught that. The holy things over and over and over again. That's why I said it's beautiful. And then it goes into something completely different. The beautiful picture behind this set of scriptures from 5 to 17 is that God, on a day-to-day basis, makes us clean. The process by which isn't anything that we warranted or even deserve. It's purely His grace and mercy by setting us up to win. Again, this is dictated from Moses, from his mind, from his relationship with God, his experience as an elder, to that of Aaron, his brother, who doesn't necessarily have his experiences, but they have created from the leading of the Holy, at this time, the leading of God, the Lord God, the boss, the one that creates rules. They have created a process by which Aaron and his sons can make a living, eat, enjoy fellowship with not only the people, but God himself. Some of you may not even believe that it's just that simple, that this was an agricultural society of people who were on a journey from one place to the other, but still had camps. And in the meantime, they took the time to educate themselves in the processes and procedures that God was setting out for them. Some of you may not believe that they had the same issues that we had, which is having leadership who were wise in helping us become something, and keeping the guardrails around us as we grew or grow into that which God has for us. Society's become deaf to hearing the true purpose of holiness, the true purpose of process as it pertains to people that we keep around us, and the value God places in the holy things. One thing that's interesting to me is, even though to me this sounds very, very simple, it's not simple to most. And it could just be my worldview that sees it this way, and everyone doesn't necessarily see things the way I do. But what I see here is God has walked Aaron into his talent, given him a mentor, walked him into his talent, teaching him certain things so that he can teach his son certain things as it pertains to how to handle the souls of other people and to handle his own soul. We've gotten away from being interested in handling. I'm talking about Aaron and his sons. And today that would be leadership, servant leadership. We used to call it servant leadership. I don't know what you call it today. In 2023, when I was growing up, we called it. When I was growing up in the Word, we called it servant leadership. But we've gotten away from, it seems to me, and I may be wrong, but my view is caring for a person's soul. We're more interested in our projects. We're more interested in our programs. We're more interested in lining up with those who do what we want them to do than leading those who are interested in doing what we do. That one takes more work, the second part. and it could be that you didn't even catch that. But there is a difference in lining up with people who are interested in doing what we do and lining up with those who desire to do what we do. We have to walk the second ones through. We have to walk with them. We have to cover them, because in some cases they'll be unclean. We have to introduce them into the family. We have to be there for them. when you have a legacy of people who you have already shown interest to and they've shown interest to you, that is a very comfortable place to be. Very comfortable. It's a place to be, it's a place to enjoy. It's a place to thank God for. But when you're on a journey looking to add more value to your comfortable place, well, then there are more costs to pay. Even here, oh, perfect. Oh, this is great. I'm trying to learn how to do introductions. And, okay, I'll shut up. It's wonderful, though. This is great. So let's go back to the text. Starting in verse 6, where it says, "The soul which hath touched any such shall be unclean." So, until even, and shall not eat of the holy things unless he wash his flesh with water. So it doesn't say you shouldn't, again, talking to Aaron and his sons, it doesn't say that they will not eat of the holy things. It just says that there's a process to eat of the holy things. And we discussed what the holy things were, right? In this context, the holy things were the offerings that were being brought to Aaron and his sons in the temple of the congregation, tabernacle of the congregation, the tabernacle of the congregation. And all that meat, I mean, just keeping it real, all that meat and all that grain or flour, those were things that were coming in from the people that they were interceding for. And again, don't it wasn't, they weren't bringing it was organized. It wasn't like there were, like the 100 million cows, and no, it was organized. But these things were coming in, and there were offerings being made to God, and then there were offerings being made to the priest as well, and then they were given to them. They earned it. I'll say it that way. I'm trying to learn how to better communicate. I was challenged yesterday with someone, and I want to better communicate things to where people understand that there is no gap in God. There is no gap in being in His presence. There is no gap in operating with the right heart. You can't go from in the right heart, wrong heart, right? It's your heart is either changed and you're operating for the right purposes with the right intent, or it is not. And what he was saying here, that you can make a mistake. In other words, the soul which hath touched any such unclean thing shall be unclean until the even, and shall not eat of the holy things. Why not? Because this was, you were interceding. Aaron and his sons are interceding for the people, and in such working, it's almost like, don't go to work with a bad attitude. And some of you may think that's too simple, but don't go to work with a bad attitude. Go to work with the attitude of service, Let's go back up to verse 4. Verse 3. Say unto them, whosoever of all your seed, so we're talking generations, among your generations, that go unto the holy things, right, which the children of Israel hallow unto the Lord. Okay, so these are people that are handling the holy things, and forgive my way of putting this thing, but just real simple, these are people with a job, and their job was to handle people's offerings and present them to God. We taking all the hyper spirituality out of it and keeping it simple. These are agricultural times. Tabernacles set up for the purpose of bringing all the tribes together under one belief system. And the job of Aaron and the sons are to provide a holy, separated, clean environment by which people can bring their offerings based upon their religious beliefs, which is that God has brought them out of Egypt through the hands of an elder by the name of Moses, and they are and Moses, through these concepts, are introducing them to the presence of God. Today you would call it Christianity, Judaism, whatever. Whatever your beliefs are, whatever your systems are, whatever your rituals are, these are the rituals being shared with Aaron and his sons. And he's saying to them, if you're handling other people's holy things, separated things that they're dedicating to the Lord, not to you, but because they are dedicating it to the Lord, I'm going to bless you. But you have to have the right heart in dealing with them. So if you're unclean, coming in the wrong way, take the day off. Clean yourself up and come back in the mercy and the grace of God with the thanksgiving that these people will be giving to you or giving through you to me. Now, if you have a running issue, in other words, you're sick, you have a fever, you got white spots popping up on your skin, don't go into the Holy of Holies. Don't make an offering. Wash your hands, get yourself clean. If you got COVID, separate yourself. Tomorrow's a new day. I'm trying to put it as simple as you can for my grandkids and my brothers and sisters in Kenya so we could take the hyper religion out of it. Hyper. We have a responsibility to treat people's souls correctly. It's not about you building your ministry, building your business. If you do it based upon your talent and learn the highest and best use for it so that other people can partake of it. See, it's really not about you. This is about God's relationship with the people that he called you to serve. In verse 9 he says, They shall therefore keep mine ordinances, lest they bear sin for it, and die therefore, if they profane it. The Lord do sanctify them. Set them apart. Give them the process. There shall no stranger eat the holy things, not a sojourner of the priest or a hired servant shall eat of the holy things. Verse 11. And then he says this, which sounds like it could, at least to me, it sounds like it could contradict itself. Then he says, But if the priest buy soul with his money, he shall eat of it, and he that is born in his house. And he makes a distinction. We talked about this in previous videos. There are people who are walking with them, whether they're servants or they're adopted in, that have adopted the practices, and so they're no longer considered, if you will, a stranger. These people are allowed to eat with you. In fact, you're kind of obligated in a way because it's part of the ritual. Verse 12, if the priest's daughter also unto a stranger, she may not eat of the holy thing. So in other words, she has walked outside of the tribe. And she has decided to be what some people would call the prodigal daughter, if you whatever. Call it what you want. But the goal is to build a society that is unified. See, this really isn't about Aaron. This is about teaching Aaron and his sons about how to handle other people. And in the meantime, there's process for Aaron and his sons. In how to walk with God and how to be an example to the people who are interested in being part of the process. I don't want to go any further because there's just so... I personally don't see this, but I personally see what I believe it should be. We're not even good at that. We understand tribalism. We do not understand kingdom. Tribalism isn't kingdom. Tribalism isn't bad. So people who say tribalism is bad, I don't agree with that. Tribalism is fantastic, but it's a microcosm of kingdom.